Hello, Top Fan Rivalry followers, and welcome to another edition of Can of Corn. I'm the co-host, Baseball Bill, but we got the hostess with the mostest, as they would say in Beetlejuice. You just say his name fast three times and you never know what's going to happen. Big Dave, Big Dave, Big Dave. And then poof, something good happens. So, Dave, how the heck are you, man?
Aloha, Bill. How are you doing today? I am certainly feeling in a groovy um tropical state of mind tonight. I got the Aloha special on today.
Yep,
Got the
yep.
nice shirt. Gonna take the missus out for a dinner because the Astros can't seem to find me any happiness, my sorrows, and enchiladas.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're doing great down here, man. Thank you for the wonderful opening as always. Like my man Bill said, this is Can of Corn, your one-stop shop for your daily dose of nutritional nuggets of baseball. This is to have you on top of the game around the water cooler or commanding the scene at the bar. Okay. We love baseball. Bill, of course, is a Dodgers fan. Yes, I know nobody's perfect. I bleed orange.
Yes, I
H
know
Town
nobody's
every
perfect.
day, Houston every day. Yeah, pay no mind to the man behind. Bill, that's a nice hat that you just adorned there. That
Yes,
is,
yes,
of
sir.
course, the official Can of Corn hat. You go on over to TopFanRivalry.com, get yours today. Use the code Big Dave, save you a little money. Bill, what's going on in this week in lovely Southern California?
Oh, it's a gorgeous week out here. It's still, Dave, we have these weird Junes. They're either sweltering hot or you've got this overcast and cloudy that burns out about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, I mean, you'll get sunburned like crazy though on these type of days. And that's where we're at, Big D. That's where we're at. And we haven't gotten to the hot yet, knock on wood, we will. But man, I've already done a couple podcasts today, got a couple of new guests on. Went for a little stroll, as you know. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? I didn't hit my goal, but I'll get there at some point today. Um,
Okay, so let's clarify here. A little stroll to Bill may be a 37-mile hike. We don't know, the man is into his steps. Um, I got it on good authority. He gets steps in for me. That's how many steps he puts in.
but
But
Dave, I got to tell you, I got a competition going on with a group called the Spicy Ladies, which is Jen Mahoney, Karina at Stadium Chasing Halo, and Alex at Tumble Travels. And those three ladies, we have this app that counts points based on how many steps you do, and you can get a maximum of a certain number of points every day. Last month they annihilated me. Now I was sick for 3 days or 4 days last month, and then we were traveling a little bit. They beat me by about 200 points. As it sits right now, 3-on-1, and I'm beating them by about 50 points. So I intend on coming back, and then the rubber match will be next month to see who's crowned TFR step king and or queen on this. But we got 3-on-1, Dave. I'm taking on all three of them.
hey, man, I respect your gangster, man. If you're gonna play, I don't care whether it's checkers or pickup sticks, you play to win the game. So,
Play to
Bill,
win the
I
game.
got all the confidence in the world on you. Put your PF flyers and get to stepping.
There you go. There you go. All right, Dave, I got a couple questions for you, man. This episode is going to be a good one. And I don't want you to feel like I'm picking on you, but I just got some questions to ask you. So I'm going to ask you first about Skipper Estrada or Joe Espada. I'm sorry, Espada. Is he in over his head? Or is he kind of what the Astros need?
Okay, so first of all, no need for clarification on the way you say his name.
Espada.
Definitely in this area code, he's being called worse. Bella agrees. Perfect timing, impeccable, Bella. Look here, but when the hire was made, I was drinking the Joe Espada Kool-Aid. He checked a lot of the boxes for me. He was well respected by the players. He knew the staff. He's a baseball guy. He's been in the game a long time. You know, um, Latin coach. This team is heavily Latin, heavy. And it's just little variables like that that had me going, okay, okay, I like it. Um, Granted, I knew that there were going to be some growing pains with a first year skipper. Okay, it's not an easy thing to do. Playing baseball is probably the hardest sport out there. Football, basketball, guys, don't at me. Golf and tennis, don't even bother sending the email. I'm just saying, go try to hit a fastball and then go try to hit a curveball the next pitch, and try to tell me how that's harder than starting and doing organized chaos for 10 seconds and doing it again.
Hold on,
But
I'm getting something from the Top Fan Rivalry sports desk. Oh, we got Jen Mahoney on the phone that wants to talk about how tough tennis is. All
yeah,
right.
okay.
Let's not patch her through though. Let her and Dave work it off offline. Okay, thank you. Okay, Dave, just so that you know, Jen Mahoney heard that and she is all kinds of up in your grill saying, hey, tennis is a game.
Yeah, that being said, I've never seen anybody that played tennis that could beat me in a fight. So I'm just saying, with all due respect to Serena, because I believe she'd go a couple rounds, but still. But no, this is kind of corn. We're talking baseball here, and I tried to segue away from the topic because it has been heavily on my mind. But I personally think Joe Espada now has shown the league and especially us loyal Astros faithful.
Wait, wait a second. Wait a second. You bust my chops for how I said his name, and then you said showing. What the heck is showing?
No, no, I did not say show. He is showing. I'm from Texas, bro. He's showing. That means he's letting everybody see. Okay, so don't come after my vernacular. All right, that's how we say
I,
things around here. Okay.
hold on. Let me get my redneck thesaurus
No,
out here. Hold on.
look, the neck is not red. Okay, I'm
Let me
just
get
saying.
hold it.
We
Showing.
just
What the
we
heck is
got a
that?
little. It's called twang. Okay.
It's
All right.
twang Texas style. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
We,
I just
we don't cut our words off at the end, brah. Dude, whoa, oh my god, all right, yeah, tubular, all right, yeah. Let's go down to the coast, right? Petco rules. No, okay. So anyway, what he has shown us is that he is definitely in over his head. Um, and I'm not just saying that because of the woes. The Astros have had a hard hand dealt to them this year, from JV starting the season late to the injury bug just constantly going around. Our own players fouling balls off of their shins and putting themselves on the IL. If it rains, it pours. But that being said, the Astros had started to make a turn there, and they were playing good ball and they were doing everything that the players fundamentally could do. There were a couple of spots, two out of the last three losses especially come to mind, where I believe Espada was put in situations where a a skipper could have gave their team an advantage, or at the very least gave them the spark or the emotion that they need. You mentioned it way back when Ronel Blanco got busted for the sticky stuff and got tossed after what seemed to be a Congress meeting there on the field that took forever, and Espada just ended up taking it like a cold, like a cup of water with the ice all melted. Like, oh well, I'm not happy, but okay, you know. Dusty Baker would have lost it. That toothpick would have been flying. I go back to the greats, man. I shared a thing with you earlier about the late great Tommy Lasorda. Tommy would have went nuclear at that moment.
oh,
Okay.
100%.
And I think and that's not just for show. Okay, that's
No.
not just for the glory aspect. That that fire, that aggression. It shows your team that, hey, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to battle for you guys. I'm going to take myself out of this game because I'm going to probably get tossed. But that's how much I'm behind you guys. And when you don't get that response from your skipper, from the captain of the ship, you could feel a little deflated. Like, okay, is this guy really got our best interest? Now, I'm not saying that Espada is not trying his best. I just think that he's been put in situations that he hasn't had the experience to know the correct moves at. Um,
1000%.
this day and age, you especially know that a lot of times skippers don't even necessarily have full control of the team. You know, all the way the front office from ownership to GMs to advisors and consultants, all the way down. Too often have their hands in the mix of the day-to-day operations of the team, including and not limited to pitch count. I want this guy to play because we're paying him X amount of dollars. This guy's due, and while I'm okay, Dusty was notorious for that last year, sticking with the guy who had been on a bit of a schneid. And it just seemed to always Dusty knew, all right, let's give him a couple of more bats. He'll get it turned around. And lo and behold, we win the division on the last game of the year. And, we're one win away from the World Series. So easy to say. But I do think that Joe Espada has bit off a bit more than he can chew. Uh, I do think that the talent on the field is good enough to help him turn it around this season. Nothing teaches you how to perform in the moment than fumbling the ball in the moment. When you make a mistake, you're almost, you're so gun shy not to make the same mistake again that you learn from it. So I hope, as an Astros faithful, I'll rub the flag when I say this. I hope and pray that Espada can get it figured out. And I really hope that the front office isn't influencing his decisions and they let him kind of find his way, because like I said, the talent on the field is good enough to outweigh any new skipper growing pains. But only time will tell. I do wish though that Espada would just grow a set and kind of man up a little bit. He's timid, maybe he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers. He's a new guy, like I'm new to this club, but definitely this is Houston. We've got an X on us. I mean, everybody in the league, all the fan bases, nothing brings more pleasure to the rest of Major League Baseball than a Houston Astros loss. So, Espada, figure it out. If you need to, get on the horn, give me a holler. I'm available. We'll work it out. Okay, just get at me.
So I will tell you, you already mentioned about I would have lost my crap when Blanco. So I don't know if you know, but this in the Super Regionals this last week, Clemson was playing Florida, and there was an issue where a player bumped into the umpire or touched the umpire or something like that. Um, and the manager went out and went crazy, and the player was going to get kicked out, and the manager, rightfully so, says, you know what, you're going to kick him out and it was something menial, right? It was nothing. Says, you're going to kick him out. You go tell him. I'm not going to go back in that dugout and tell him that he's out of the game. You go tell him. And the umpire had to go tell a 20-year-old that he was out of the game. And the umpire which I thought was awesome about the manager, but the manager lost his crap. And what I didn't understand about this was, and it was Florida's manager, I believe. What I didn't understand about this was when you get kicked out of a game, you are suspended for 2 games and you can't attend the post-game press conference. So Florida won the game. They're going to Omaha. They can't do anything. He's sitting there. He can't go to the press conference for his own team. So, Espada, drop it like it's hot, throw something, kick something, beat the sin out of a trash can with a bat. I don't care what you do, but throw some emotion out there.
Also, Joe, for heaven's sake, I don't know if they're making you start Jose Abreu and making him stay in the whole game, but please get him out of the game. Big John Singleton has been doing okay, and okay is better than what Jose Abreu has been doing. I'm just saying, nobody knows if Jim Crane and Dana Brown are making them put their $18 million former MVP on the field. But I mean, we're here in the last week. We brought up Joey Lopervito, stud in the minors. Kid came up to the big leagues, performed at the big show, and we designated him the day after that I'm sorry, a week after we brought him up and sat him. He didn't play at all. He got in as a pinch runner. Like the bonehead moves make me lean that it's more front office than a Espada, but that's where your manager, you're the voice of the team. You've got to speak up. You've got to say that this is what is best for the team. That is what I mean. The skippers are in a hot seat. It's a high paid, high turnover job. It's often thankless. You get all the blame and none of the praise, but that's what you signed up for. So handle up, man up. Otherwise, it could be one and done. I mean, very well. I mean, he could get himself on the hot seat and be ran out of town with Jose Abreu.
There you go. All right, so talk to me about so right now the Yankees, Cleveland Guardians, Indians, Seattle Mariners, Philadelphia Phillies, um, let's see, Milwaukee Brewers, and the 2024 World Champion Los Angeles Dodgers are all in first place. What team or teams do you think have a shot to actually win the division that aren't actually in the lead? I'm transitioning on you here because I'm getting a call from your cardiologist and I'm concerned, he's concerned that you're gonna blow a head gasket if we talk much more about Joe Estrada slash Espada, like cousin to Eric the Chips guy. So um so what team is not in first place that's got a shot to win that division?
All respect due to Erica Estrada. Ponch, I love you, bro. Straight up. Larry Wilcox, too. Okay. He doesn't get enough credit, aka the white guy on chips. Let's give Larry Wilcox some love. Okay. Without saying the Houston Astros, because like I said, the Houston Astros still will come out of the doldrums and find a way to win this division and make it into the playoffs. Because as I've said before, I'm a fan, but I'm also a realist. You're going to have to win the AL West to make the dance this year. I don't think your wild card team's making it. That being said, around the rest of the league, I think the team with the best shot to win the division would probably be the Orioles. Now, that is not going to be an easy road to travel because the Yankees are doing Yankee things. And more importantly, they're doing it without the likes of Juan Soto, which is even scarier. Um, Aaron Judge has now found his gavel and is swinging away and doing his thing. But I think the Orioles are starting to figure it out. Over the last couple of seasons, they have been that young team that seem to overachieve and find themselves in positions that they never found themselves in before. Another year removed from that, another year wiser, more at bats and more situations under their belt. The kids are performing. I mean, they're like 7-3 in their last 10 games, which normally would be you'd find yourself cruising to the top of the division, except that the Yankees are 8-2 in the last 10 games. So the Orioles definitely, I think, got a shot to turn it on, but it will be it's gonna have to be a task. Like the Yankees are gonna have to find themselves in a hole and bomb out tremendously in order for it to happen. But they're only like 4 games out. So another division. I'd like to say that the Braves have a shot, but with Acuna going down and the injury to Strider, like I just don't think that they can overcome it. The Phillies are rocking this year. I would have to say, don't sleep on the Pirates, man. I like the Bucks early in the season. They had a couple of hiccups, a couple of stumbles, but at time of recording, they're only like 7 games out. And 7 games doesn't sound like much to an Astros fan, as we're now presently 8 games. But I digress. And you know what? You can't sleep on your second favorite team, Ron Burgundy's favorite team. That's right, the Padres of San Diego. That seems to always come down to it, one way or the other. At least it's entertaining past the All-Star break. But yeah, man, I think it's gonna once we get after the the trade deadline, the All-Star break. I think we're going to have about 6 weeks there where it's going to be just lights out baseball, and people start to distance themselves, and you start to get a bigger some more clarity on the playoff picture. But I'd have to say, the Padres, the Pirates, and the Orioles, they definitely got a shot at turning it around
So I
and
agree with
sneaking
you on
in.
some of that. The Orioles, if the Yankees hit any type of skid, they're 2.5 games out starting at time of recording. The Orioles have a really, really good shot. Kansas City has a really, really good shot to outdo the Indians slash Guardians slash Pedro Serrano, Ricky Vaughn, Willie Hayes, all those guys.
I don't
Um,
ever bet against Joe Boo, so I couldn't go there with you.
Yo, bartender, Joe Boone needs a refill.
Joe Boo needs a refill.
I'm gonna say this, much to the chagrin of my family that lives in the Pacific Northwest. And I'm gonna say this, and I mean it with all sincerity. The Astros have a winning culture. They have put it together for the last 7 years. Do not sleep on the Astros to win that division. And I'm not saying that because I'm on with you. I've been saying it for weeks. So nobody at me, Dodger fans, don't come at me. I've been saying this for weeks that you guys now, if this were the 2007, 2008, 2009 Astros, it's more business as usual. No disrespect to you, but you know what I'm talking about. It's
No,
more
yeah.
business as usual. You guys have been 7-7. Count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ALCSs in the last 7 years. That says something.
I do have a different ALCS shirt for every day of the week. So
You
that is
do.
true. That is
You
true.
do. And I'm not placating you. I've been saying it for weeks. So
No,
nobody,
I think Seattle as well, and we've spoken on this before, and the Rangers as well. They failed miserably at putting distance between themselves and the Astros when they had a shot. When the Astros were down to
100%.
start the season and had a rough schedule, I'm not complaining. Everybody's got to play the same amount of games, but the Astro schedule coming out was absolutely rough. Injuries haven't helped. Um, we thought we were getting some guys back, and now other guys are going down. So it's going to be that like that for the rest of the season. But I think the Astros have the pedigree and, like you said, the winning culture to know that they can turn it on. Now, I don't necessarily like waiting until right before the yellow light turns green to turn it on, but I got all the faith in the world that the talent, like I said, and the pedigree, guys like Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Justin Verlander, these guys have been there. They'll be able to calm the young guys down in the clubhouse. And we've
100%.
we've got we've got enough games left here before the deadline to really give us an idea. We can make a move, and
Yeah.
we can really get back at it.
Now I'm gonna tell you right now that the Mariners and the Rangers are not out of it yet. They both have very good clubs. They both have very, very good clubs. But again, if I'm going on history and I'm going on battlefield tested, right? I'm going that direction. Don't at me. Jen Mahoney, when you listen to this, I took your side. I think you could take Big Dave, but in this case, so the question is what the question is. Um, there's nobody that's going to catch Philly. Philly's just on fire. The Braves could have done it, losing Spencer Stash Strider and Ronald Acuna. That's probably game set match. Doesn't mean they're not going to make the playoffs. Just you're asking about the division. The Reds or the Cubs are going to win their division. Um, Although, believe it or not, and I said the Reds or the Pirates. The Pirates are in second place right now. Um, and the Pirates are in second place right now. And somebody showed me a statistic that the over the last 30 games, I want to say, or last 35 games, the Cubs and the White Sox have identical records or darn near close to it. So that tells you that the Cubs are on a downslide right now. And I'm not being a homer, but I don't think the Dodgers are going to lose their division. That's not me being a homer. Just look at the freaking lineup.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I mean, and you guys just got Kevin Biggio. Like the rich keep getting richer.
yeah. So I not not trying to be a homer on that one, but the question that I asked you. So I listen. I think two of the divisions are locked. I think the Dodgers and the West and the Phillies in the East. Every other division I think is in play. Every other division is in play. And again, Not being a homer, D. Don't kill me. Don't at me. You got what I'm saying. So we got a little
I'm
brim
picking up
switch
what you're
here.
putting down.
Yeah. All right. Final question before we go off the record. Less than 2 months from the trade deadline. Who's buying? Who's selling? Who is going to play the Angels? All this waited out. So who's buying? Who's selling?
Well, I mean, like I just mentioned it right now. I mean, breaking news from the TFR Sports Desk today: the Dodgers acquire Baby Biggio, Kevin Biggio from the Blue Jays for a toaster oven and a cash consideration. Um, the rich keep getting richer. He probably won't get paid till 2035 with the way they set their pay schedule up. But I mean, he's a young guy. So I think that the Blue Jays should be rebuilding right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've basically got Vlad for the rest of the year. I think it's obvious he's not looking to re-sign there. The talks have not been, active to keep him there. Like there's no interest in his part. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes his dad's role and ends up down at the Angels of Los Angeles of Anaheim or whatever, um, wherever that nightlight of a halo is. But I know where Carrie. Don't at me. I'm just kidding.
Don't at me.
But
Don't
yeah,
at me.
no. It's tough to say. I know that the Dodgers, they needed an everyday shortstop. As good as Mookie is, he's better at second. I think even you Dodger fans are okay admitting that. And that puts your boy Gavin Lux up in limbo, so they could be looking to move him to bolster that already deep lineup. Um, Only time will tell to see where my beloved Astros will fit in that equation. You know, I think we still got enough time and enough room, as we've been saying here earlier, for the Astros to still sneak in. That being said, we go on a horrible run for the next, a month. Then I don't think Bregman's going to be an Astro next year, so he becomes tradable. How much leverage does Kyle Tucker now have with 1 year of team control left? And are the Astros willing to pay him there? Um, the White Sox, I mean, why some of their players are still on their team, I have no idea. Luis Robert, like there's some good ball players up there that are just gonna, and I'm sorry, I'm not pounding on the Angels, but they're gonna catch the Mike Trout treatment. You're gonna spend a lot of time at a team that's not doing anything, you know. Um, Personal numbers are great and it might get you into Cooperstown, but who wants to sit there and try to figure out what hat you're going to wear? Um, it's tough to say. Um, Teams like that are in the contention, we talked about Kansas City earlier. Um, they probably be willing to be buying the Rockies, of course, and the lowly teams, um, would probably be trying to sell, but what do they have really? I mean, it's tough to say. This season is definitely been one for the ages so far, especially from an Astros point of view. I think the Rays have been showing that they'll sell anything lately. The Tigers, I think, eh, talk about a letdown. These guys, they're struggling right now. They were early favorites to win that division. I think the youth is showing through. Um, you know, does do the Angels decide to just roll it up and start selling? I'd like to see the Astros make some moves. I'd like to see the Blue Jays. I mean, seeing Vlad Guerrero playing first base for the Astros would be absolutely lovely. I think Jake Myers has found himself as an odd man out here, and would be on the trade block. But I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be selling and buying?
I honestly, Dave, I think it's hard to quantify this just yet because you just mentioned a very, very good point, and that is, you don't know. you don't really know what's happening until it happens. So you guys could win the next 18 out of 22 games and be right there, and you guys are buying. You guys could lose 18 out of the next 22 and you're unloading. You know, you're going to unload Breckman, you're going to
Yeah.
unload a few other guys, right? Um, so it's hard to talk it. The only ones that I can confirm, wait, I'm getting it from Top Fan Rivalry Sports Desk. No, we already talked about Jen Mahoney. She can beat up Dave for the tennis thing. Don't worry about that. Okay, yeah. So I'm getting from Top Fan Rivalry Desk that they're gonna sell in the White Sox organization, they're gonna sell in Miami. That's about that's about it. I mean, the you look at teams that are struggling like the Angels, who do they have to sell? Anthony
Yeah.
made out of glass Rendon? Nobody's gonna want that contract. You look at you look at teams like Pittsburgh. Now, Dave, and you asked me this question in 2.5, 3 weeks, I'll give you a better answer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. Look at the Mets. The Mets would be a perfect example. You know, they're in the mix, but not out of the mix. And they've definitely got pieces that, you know, everybody would take a designated hitter, JD Martinez on their team. I don't know who wouldn't. Pete Alonso would also look great in Astros orange at first base. Um, does Chaz Chisholm ever get out of his situation in Miami? You know, and even teams like I've seen a lot of this guy this year already. The Athletics closer, Mason Miller.
Mhm.
That guy's got
Mhm.
good stuff, and I think he could be a well added piece to any bullpen for any playoff contender. So I think it is a bit early, uh, but we'll have to revisit this conversation in 6 weeks time.
Yes, correct.
There's too many in betweeners right now. You know, there's too many teams that are on the cusp. You know, will the Reds make it? You know, will the Diamondbacks be able to pull something off? Bo Bichette, where does he go?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, yeah, there's a lot of movement there. But again, this is a great question, and I hate to be that guy, but again, ask me in 2 weeks. This is one of those that this is one of those questions that it's an ask me in 2 weeks, right? Uh, you know, tomato, tomato. Okay, let's go off the record. You and I. Let's not let's not take this anywhere else. Should
Turner.
MLB have a salary cap?
Oof. You know that's a tricky, slippery slope.
Okay.
Um, do I think it would be nice for the market to be a little more level?
Mhm.
Yes. However, I am in a larger market team that overspends. So I right now I'd be against it because it's already hard enough to keep players on a team long enough to a become become like I say Craig Biggio, you think Astros. I say Jeff Bagwell, you think Astros. I say Steve Garvey, you think Dodgers. Like just guys that are synonymous with the teams that they've played for, you know?
Right now, I think Senate because that's
Well,
all I'm
yeah.
seeing on TV. Garvey for
Yeah.
Senate. Garvey for Senate. I'm like,
Well, there you
oh,
go. The
yeah, stay in your
ad's
lane,
not
dude.
uh Steve Garvey for Senate has not sent us an ad proposal. I'm just saying that this is not sponsored
Yeah.
by Steve Garvey for Senate. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know, man. I kind of like it the way it is. You know, if you want to go out and Miami Marlins, Herzog self buy yourself a team, you very well could. You know, capitalism at its best. But I think the product would the product be better with the salary cap? I don't necessarily think so. So, um, you know, what if I had if it came down to it and I had to put a vote, yes or no, I'd say no. I'd say keep it the way it is. The smaller market teams may have a bit of a disadvantage not having TV deals and whatnot, but that's just how it's been. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe I'm an old guy. What's that? Maybe the holdover. Maybe I'm one of those holdovers. I still got the phone on the wall with the 35-inch cord. You
There you go.
But I don't know. I'd be against it right now if I had to. Steve Harvey. See, now that's a ticket I could get behind. Harvey Garvey for president. Okay, Steve Harvey, and then Steve Garvey running with him. There we go.
Yes, 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 yes. I like it. Okay. My
Look,
thought pattern on
guys,
this.
before we get out of here, we're up against it. I'm getting it in my ear that we are like running us over. Do me a favor. I'd like to thank each and everybody who comes out and listens to us talk this stuff every week. Wherever you're listening to your favorite podcast, please continue to do so. If you're checking this out on YouTube, do me a favor, slide down there, mash that subscribe button. Okay, I would definitely appreciate it. We're trying to get this out there. You know, sports talk, fan involved, for the fans, by the fans, Top Fan Rivalry, your one-stop shop for all your baseball needs. You can go on over to the website right now. All right, go to the shop. We got a brand new, just in time for 4th of July, a flag shirt, Top Fans in Baseball. It's a gorgeous shirt. It's definitely something that would look good on the whole family for the 4th of July cookout picture. If you were going for a theme and you showed up with this shirt, I'm telling you, you're gonna win the costume contest or the best dressed category of any family reunion. But you can go over there. You can get it right now. Use discount code Big Dave, BIGDAVE. Okay, we got to get up out of here. I'm Big Dave. That's my man, Bill. Thank you for visiting us on Can of Corn. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. And as always, go Stros.
What others?